There's a famous story of every entrepreneur ever, and it goes like this. They start their journey, they see some success, they come up against resistance, it gets hard, it gets tough, they break through, they may have a big breakthrough and they make lots of money and they're really successful. And then eventually what happens is they come up against this burnout syndrome where it feels like no matter what they do, no matter, you know, all the extra work they put in, they kind of hit this ceiling and they're just exhausted, they're tired, they've been putting in years and years of work, and it just feels like it's not worth it anymore and they just kind of need a reset. The problem with this burnout is so many people come up against it and they turn their back on their business altogether. I've been there myself. They put attention on other things and they never actually can get back and come back to where they were before. And ultimately, their happiness is low. Their life feels like, why am I even doing this? They lose touch with the reason they begin their journey in the first place. And so, in this video, I'm going to share with you a few things that I've learned on how to avoid this burnout forever. And I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to follow what I'm going to teach you in this video as best as possible, but I'm sure there's going to be times where I forget this and get off track. So I always say that, I always give that disclaimer because I want to make sure if you're watching this, you know that I'm not making these videos from a place of being perfect or to preach or to be like, I do everything right or I know everything. These are just practices that I've implemented and I've studied from other people and I've actually gone through in my own personal life and on my journey and kind of the things that have helped me, and I want to share them with you. So that's why I know I don't need a disclaimer every time I do something, but I just want to make that clear. The first step to avoid this burnout is, number one, do things that you love. There's so many people out there trying to chase the money, and the money is a byproduct of the value that you deliver. And so if you're out there constantly chasing money, chasing money, chasing money, what happens is you're not really in an industry, in a pocket. You're not necessarily doing the things that make you fulfilled or that are in alignment with what you really want to do. And over time, what happens is this wears on you. People can make money in an industry that they don't love. It's 100%. But I believe that when it gets tough and it gets hard, that you're not going to be able to push through as well, and it's just going to wear you down, and eventually you're going to come up against this burnout phase. And so my advice is do something you would do for free. Find a passion or an industry to work in that you would do absolutely for free every morning, and then figure out how you can get paid for it and how you can bring value to other people. That's the first step. If you don't get that right, then you're probably 100% going to get burned out no matter what you do. The second part of this is change your perspective. We get burned out because we are looking at a problem in the wrong way. We're looking at a problem from a place of worry, anxiety, fear, stress, and we're not looking at the problem solution oriented. So for example, a problem that may come up like, we're not making as much money as we should. Our company should be making more. I should be closing more deals. I should be earning more commission. And we're looking at it from almost like a place like, what happens if I don't earn that commission? I'm going to go broke and I'm going to be alone and I'm not going to have a place to stay. I can't take care of my family. I got to make this money. And it puts this stress on our chest that is very burdening. It's a burden to us. And ultimately, it'll kill you if you keep operating from that perspective long enough. So the key is changing your perspective and looking at it through a new light. So instead of looking at a problem and starting to go down the rabbit hole of, oh my life, this could be awful. I may never get it together. We may lose everything. Look at it from a solution-oriented viewpoint, to where it's like, hey, how can I solve this? What's the next steps? Like, how do we get this back to our goal? How do we build this back up? And when you do it that way, you start to kind of zoom out and you realize that everything you're doing and every goal that you're trying to obtain, you can begin to realize that you're on the right path and you're on the right journey. And though everything you're doing may not feel like you're getting closer, you are 1% every single day. You're getting 1% closer. So that's my advice. That's how you avoid the burnout. Do things that you love and do it and be present in those things that you love. Don't be like, I wish I was doing other things. And then change your perspective on the things that are stressing you out and making you worried. There's always new ways to look at things, new perspectives, new angles, zooming all the way out. Like, just for example, let's zoom all the way out right now, right where you are. You're sitting at your house on your phone or on your computer watching this video. You go out, you're outside of your house or your apartment, you zoom out, you're in a state, you zoom out, you're in a country, you zoom out, you're on this planet, you zoom out, you're on a rock, which is the planet, floating through space, you zoom out, you're in a solar system, you zoom out, and all these problems that you have are so tiny and so small, and there's power in realizing that we're gonna die, and the things that feel like big problems and big hurdles, they're not really that big, and then they feel huge now in this moment sometimes, or you feel like everything may go downhill. Truth is, it's not gonna happen. This is not, and if it does, it's not a big deal. And so zoom out, look at it that way. When you change your perspective, you really cut off that power of the burnout, because the burnout doesn't come from you being in a flow of doing everything and everything going right. It comes out from a lot of little problems that you just continuously have to figure out how you solve, and it's just a game of solving problems. So the new perspective may be, instead of looking at like, ooh, new problem, look at it as a game or a challenge that you have to overcome. And that may be the new perspective to drive you. Anyways, end of video. Hope that helps. How to avoid your burnout. In sales, like I talk about, it's going to come up, right? You're going to be like, man, I'm making calls, I'm still closing deals, like I'm doing good, but I'm tired. Keep moving. Change your perspective on that, and then do the things that you love. Make time to do things that you love, so you're not just in a position where you're doing tasks that feel like they're just overbearing and there's stress that comes up. Add in the things you love, and then change your perspective on the things that bother you. Appreciate y'all. The world is better when you're better. Let's go.